Kind of give that like dew factor when you turn like this. Hey guys, and welcome back to part 3 of the series. Today we're going to talk about blush, bronzer, and highlight. As you know from my previous video, and if you haven't already watched it, I'll link it below. As you know from the previous video, I've already highlighted a little bit with my concealer. I like to bring my concealer up and back because I like the lifted effect that makeup gives me. But today I'm going to highlight with a couple other things to kind of give that like dew factor when you turn like this. I like to think of the bronzer, blush, highlight trio as kind of a layering system. I like to start with my bronzer, and then on top of that, I'll go in with my blush, and then I'll go in with my highlight. And this is absolutely tailored to everyone's face. Everyone's face is different, and I feel like everyone applies this differently and needs to apply it differently because not all faces are the same, obviously. So what I like to do is I like to start with my bronzer, and this is MAC's Medium Deep Mineralized Skin Finish. This works really well. So what I'll do is I'll just take a big fluffy brush, and I'm not huge into looking like a bronze goddess. I just like to look like I have a little bit of something. Just like when I do my contour, I like to do all around my face because I think it rounds out a look no matter what. I would even put a little bronzer on my palest clients because I just think that it makes the makeup look whole. So what I'll do is I'll dip it lightly in the bronzer like I already did, and then I'm gonna do the E3 motion. So I'll start here, and I'll just go like this, and then down here. And when I apply it, I'm not applying it like I apply my contour. I'm not applying it into that natural crease in my face. I'm applying it on the cheekbone where the sun would naturally hit. So I do it just like I would do my blush, the same exact way. Do it right to basically the apple of the cheek and back. And I'm really lightly just dusting my face. And then I bring it down here and then blend it down the neck so it looks natural. Same thing with the other side. Start here. And the reason I start here is because I think that that's the most forgivable place when you're applying bronzer. And obviously, as most of you know, the first place you touch with a product is going to deposit the most color. So I find that this is the most forgiving spot for it. So I'll start there, go right over my cheekbone, and right the way down the neck. And then I'll just go like this on the nose where the sun would naturally hit, right here on the cheek where the sun would naturally hit, and then I usually go in just a little more right here. So hopefully you can see that that gave me just a little look of I've been in the sun and I'm sun-kissed. And I'm not a bronze goddess by any means. I just have a little bit of color in my face. So the next thing I'll do, and like I said, this is a layering system. So that's all over the face, E3, on the cheekbones, on the forehead, and on the chin and down the neck, just a little bit. And then I'll go in with MAC Harmony. And I know some people use this to contour, but I really like it as a blush for myself. I can't remember the name of this brush. It's a MAC, maybe 135 or something. I'll put it right here, what it's called. But I'll just dip that lightly into the product. And I had such a hard time figuring out what the apple of the cheek was. And I finally figured it out. It truly is just the center when you smile. And I have big cheeks. I've always had big cheeks. I look like a chipmunk. I was teased for it when I was little. Some people still tease me for it today, but that's okay. You learn to love what you have. So you smile, and it's really gonna go right here, just on the center of the round part of your cheek. So you think of that round part like a little apple, and then just right in the center is where you wanna start. So I'll start here, and then go back. And I use my contour line as a line of demarcation. Nothing goes below that contour line for me. That is the line that basically stops me from going below and dragging my face down. So again, smile, and then I take it all the way back lightly to the hairline. Sometimes I do apply this into the contour line if I want like that kind of like sunken in model-esque look if I'm doing something like at night or I have an event to go to. But for today, for a more natural look, just in the center of the cheek. And that's it for my blush. Every time I go in and do something, I will use just a plain brush, plain big fluffy brush to go ahead and blend it out. So this is gonna kind of mash the bronzer and the blush together. Again, keeping it above that contour line so my face doesn't get sunken down or dragged down. So at this point, I'm ready for my highlight. So today I have the Wet n Wild, so coveted Precious Petals highlighter, along with a little bit pathetic looking Becca Moonstone highlighter. I need to get a new one. This was just like a travel kit one. So I take a fan brush and I go ahead, and I always have when I'm doing my makeup a little bit of rose water with me. I just like it better than water. It smells nice. I feel like it does good things for my skin. So I make sure that is super damp, and then I spray all over my face. And then while that's still wet, you want to work fast. Get the fan brush in the product. And I'm taking it in my Wet n Wild and my Becca. And go ahead and apply it. I have cat hair in my mouth. Great. Okay. So I know when I naturally sweat, this is going to dry. So I'll apply it again. I know when I naturally sweat where I sweat, and that's kind of where I like to apply my highlighter. So I know I sweat right here. I don't want to bring it up to here because then it starts to just look greasy on me. So I really just keep it on this outer top of my cheekbone portion. And I like to think of it like a C. So I apply it here and then I lightly go up like this. So I'm gonna spray my face again since it dried. And that also kind of takes away the powdery look of makeup, which is nice. And I'm just gonna apply it right on the top of my cheekbone. I hope you can see that. I'm filming on an iPad, I'm sorry, but you get the idea. And then up. The outer corner. And up. I think you can see it. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So yeah, I stop it basically right here. And then I like to take my damp beauty blender and just stamp on top of it so it really blends in. And then I like to apply it just above my lip. And the snot looking thing. And then I apply just a little tiny bit down my nose. Again, I just had B-beam laser treatment, so I can't apply too much because it starts to look flaky. I made a video on that as well, which I can link in the bottom if you're wondering what that is. And then just a little tiny bit on the center, which is already glowy. And that's really it. Again, I just blend, and then sometimes I'll do a little. My cat's meowing. It's about 5 o'clock and they're hungry. Theo. Just a little right there. And then again, blend. Just a little, because you don't want to remove the product. And that is really it for my bronzer, blush, and highlight. Super simple, it's super fast. I hope that was helpful to some of you. My cat's still meowing. Let me introduce you to him. This is Theodore. I like to call him Theo, and he's super hungry, and he likes to eat exactly at 5 o'clock every day. You say hi? You say hi? He's my baby. And I'll introduce you to Stanley. Stanley is my other baby, although he's not such a baby. He's about 5 years old. You gonna go eat? Yeah. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to some of you. This is how I apply my bronzer, my highlight, and my blush. I'm curious to know how you guys apply it, so please comment down below and let me know what you do. If you have any questions at all or any concerns, let me know. And thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.